So hi out there in FlossTube land. This is Tina Fraser coming to you from Columbus, Ohio. Today is Sunday, December 29th, 2019 at approximately 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And I'm coming to you from my lovely little craft room. I've got the door closed so I don't bother anybody. You can kind of see all my stuff behind me, including my stash of diamond paintings, a lot of those kind of up against the wall, and that really big one there, that is, those are all diamond dots. There's like 3 behind me that are not diamond dots. They're ones that I've ordered online. This reindeer one here, though, is a diamond dots kit. But we're not here to talk about diamond painting. We're here to talk about cross stitch today because I have a lot of plans. This is my my not necessarily 2019 wrap-up video. I'm not really going to do a wrap-up video because I don't have my wrap-up ready. And I'm just going to kind of go into my some of my plans, some more of my nailed down plans for 2020 and the upcoming year. So I have some notes here, you guys, because I have a lot of stuff to talk to you about. So here's my notebook. You can see there's lots of stuff here. My list for 2020 sales starts on this page, goes to that page. So I have those 2 pages. And then I have these 2 pages. These are all Facebook group sales. And then that page. So I have a lot of Facebook group sales to talk to you about for 2020. I'm not going to participate in all of them because that's just crazy. But yes, I am going to be doing quite a few of them, and quite a few of them are different and everything like that. So anyway, I wanted to get back to you with a little bit of an after Christmas update. So for Christmas, one of the things I got in my stocking was this little teeny pushing cross stitch kit. This is really cute. It's one of those little itty bitty like kits that you can buy at Barnes & Noble that are up near the checkout counter and stuff. I happened to pick this up at a local bookshop called the Book Loft, and picked it up, put it in my stocking. So this is a little gift to myself, and this is just really cute. I did open it up on Christmas Day. Look at this little teeny pink hoop, you guys. It comes with a little hoop, which you're supposed to use for your finishing. It is a plastic hoop, so the inside just kind of pops out. It's a little plastic hoop, but it's kind of pink. It's really kind of cute. So yeah, it's really kind of cute. The kit also comes with this little teeny booklet. It's a pushing cross stitch kit. It has instructions for you on how to cross stitch basics, and pushing patterns. There's actually 3 patterns, 3 little pushing patterns in here. So the cross stitch basics, and then you get information on needles and fabric and hoops and threads and how to stitch, and how to count, how to find your center of the fabric, how to start your stitches, and it basically just tells you that it doesn't matter how your stitch. The one good thing about this is that this book tells you, for helpful tips, that it doesn't matter where your stitches start, just as long as your stitches go in the same direction. So that is a really good tip. And it tells you how to hand wash, and then it gets into the pushing patterns. There's 3 little basic pushing patterns. There is just the basic pushing. There's the basic pushing pattern. Okay. That's pattern 1. Pattern 2 is this little pushing right here. And yes, I'm covering up the patterns. And then pattern 3 is the pushing, holding the hoop. So it's just really cute. There's 4 colors. Now the neat thing is it does come with the threads. So here is your thing of threads. So there's a gray and a brown, a dark gray and a brown in the middle, and a light tan gray, and then a pink. You also get 3 pieces of gray Ada. This is 14 count, I believe. Little 3 pieces of gray Ada. Actually, it might be 1 long piece. that you might be one long piece that you just stitch all three patterns on. Nope, they're individual pieces. So you have your individual pieces that you can stitch your patterns on. So it's a really cute kit. I think it's kind of neat. I think it was like $8 or something. It was really cute. I just picked it up because I kind of like pushing. It gives me something quick that I can toss in the bag and take with me somewhere if I need a quick kit. But I just thought that was just really kind of cute, and I really like the little pink hoop. So we have that. That was a little self-gift to myself. A little stitchy gift to myself. Trying to get it all back into the box. Because yes, I'm going to keep it in the box until ready to stitch it, if at all. So, as I was doing some other things, got a couple of new magazine issues. I'll get to those here in a bit. I got Cross Stitch Favorites Christmas. I forget when I got this. I think I got it at Joann's the other day when my mom and I stopped in to Joann's Thursday or Friday. But there's some fairly cute patterns in here that I really liked. I thought these Polar Pals were really cute. These Polar Pals were just really cute. There's a cat, and let's see if I have a cat, a penguin, and a rabbit, and a couple other things that were really cute in here. So the Polar Pals were really cute. There's another, all the little motifs, all the little Christmassy motifs. The festive cheer is what they call them. These were really cute. The crackers, the red and white crackers, those were really cute. The Christmas Parade, folk style designs of Scandinavian painted horses. Scandinavian painted horses. I thought those were really cute as well. And then some of the other ones that I thought were cute were these Cheers Folk. Holiday jolliness should come in every color. Stitch these bright folk inspired wall hangings to jazz up your decorations. I thought these were really cute. I like the bird. I like the deer, a bell on the tree. Really cute. I'm probably going to end up stitching a few of these throughout the year in 2020 because I thought these were just really cute. Some other motifs. This is an interesting Christmas countdown. Look at the top. That's actually really folksy. It's really cute. That would be really pretty by itself. Don't know if I would stitch it on a dark blue fabric, but yeah. And then we have A Christmas Carol. These are basically the 12 days of Christmas, kind of done up different ways. But yeah, so this magazine has quite a bit of stuff in it that I would really consider doing. Joy to the World, inspired by stained glass windows. So you have several different things you can do inspired by stained glass windows. They have all kinds of little things like candles and wreaths and doves and angels and nativity and, you know, several different things. So these might be fun too to stitch up. Alright, you can hear my cat is batting some dice around. So that is all for Christmas cross stitch favorites. This is printed in the UK. It's for Christmas 2019. This week I also got my next issue of the World of Cross Stitching magazine. I have a subscription to the paper for this. I don't have a digital one. At least I don't think I have a digital one. The free kit this time is stitching the Santa Claus cone. And it comes with the plastic Aida to stitch it. You can actually find plastic Aida at Joann's and Michael's now in the United States. I know because I have some. Do I have it handy down here? Yes. So you can actually find plastic Aida It's actually called Vinyl Ada, and it comes from Charles Craft. So it's 13 count, made in the USA, 12 by 18. So you can actually find this in Michael's and Joann's, but it is plastic vinyl. And you kind of work on it like you do the perforated paper, and then you can cut it, but it's plastic. And I believe you can even do, you might even be able to do partial stitches, fractional stitches on here, because it looks like the weave might be open enough that you can actually get your needle in between there. But yeah, Vinyl Ada, it only comes in this one color that I've seen. So you can find this in Hobby Lobby and Joann's, or in Joann's and Michael's. It's made in the USA. This is a 12 inch by 18 inch piece, so you can actually do a whole lot on this, a lot of ornaments and stuff. So you can find the Vinyl Ada, which does come in this kit, but in this kit you get the floss and the pattern and the stuff. You stitch it up. It's kind of in a cone shape, and you stitch it up and sew the back together to make the cone shape. And you can see there the back is stitched up. So that could be kind of fun. But that came in the World of Cross Stitching. This is the issue 288 Christmas 2019 issue. So this is your free kit. I really like that. That cat dangling from the wreath is just absolutely adorable. There was another really adorable one in here. Let me get to the so this Santa was kind of fun. The Santa was really kind of cute. You have a ballerina thing. Another thing that was really kind of cute was this very Victorian set. So you get all of these patterns to stitch on perforated paper or Vinyl Ada if you want. Move that over there. So maybe you can see it a little better. There you go. Yep. There's some poinsettias. Some of you may be interested in that. That's not necessarily my aesthetic, but there you go. These little motifs, the festive motifs, are really cute. So you have, like, you know, just various different kinds of little motifs that you can do. Good duel. You know, just little patterns like that. I know we're getting out of the Christmas season now, but just kind of wanted to show you this. There's a pet of the month pattern for a little cat. I'm trying to find the one that I thought was just utterly adorable. 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. There's a lot of open space in that. Yeah. Doreen Jones has a pattern in here. This one is called Once Upon a Time. It's Reading is Magical. It's a Doreen Jones. You can see there. It's a Doreen Jones. Doreen Jones, Reading is Magical. This is the one that I thought was totally adorable. Look at this Scotty dog, you guys. And his coat. Isn't he just so precious? I don't have a Scotty dog. I'd actually probably consider doing this. But I don't have a Scotty dog. But he is just too cute. This is probably the cutest pattern in this magazine. That was just too cute, though. This one is by Ruth Williams. Ruth Williamson. I'm sorry. Sorry, I tipped over my soda. Luckily it wasn't full. And today's video is being brought to you by Orange Vanilla Coke. Still have a big supply. I really like Orange Vanilla Coke. I also like Cinnamon Coke. If you haven't had any of that yet, Cinnamon Coke is really good if you can still find it. It's more the spice cinnamon rather than the cinnamon candy flavor, if that makes any kind of sense to you. Alright, so that's about all we have in the in this magazine for patterns that I really kind of liked. So we have the World of Cross Stitching Christmas 2019 issue. Alright, so the other night, my husband and my mom and I on Friday night, we went to, we had our typical night out, and we went to Half Price Books, and I picked up 2 new magazines for $1 each. So I don't know if this one's in my stash. I don't think it is, but I picked up The World of Cross Stitching, this issue. This is the issue 169. I don't know if it'll tell me when it was released. No, I don't know. It's issue 169 though. I don't know when it came out. I'm not really sure exactly how to tell. But there's some really cute, there were some really cute patterns in here that I liked. I might already have this one because this actually kind of half looks familiar, but here is put it over here, this stackable snowman, Tower of Snowmen. Let's see, Nativity and Patchwork. That's cute, but it's not my aesthetic. Should have flagged some of these. Jingle All the Way. These are cute. Oh, Christmas Cuddles. Look at the hedgehogs. Christmas Cuddles. Isn't that cute? Yeah. So I picked it up because it was $1, and I wasn't sure that I already had this in my stash. So, trying to look through the back. Oh, you have a Greek bear. That's different. You don't see too many Greek patterns. It's the Greek bear. Grecian bear. Yeah. Ideal for beginners. You have a berry alphabet. Oh, the spooky stitches. These are masks to stitch for Halloween. Yeah. I might already have this in my stash, but I'm not sure. Merry Christmas. That's kind of cute. But yeah. And the mice. Mice are cute. We have Festive Friends, little cards to stitch. And then the next magazine I got for $1 was Glamour Cross Stitch Favorites. Glamour Cross Stitch Favorites. This is spring of 2013. Chances are likely I don't have this one in my stash because it's from 2013. It's like 6 years ago. So, a couple of different things in here that I wanted to pick up and keep. I thought this was cute. Lady walking her dog with the Eiffel Tower in the background. This one's cute. She's a little flapper girl. All that jazz. Thought that was cute. This is Capital Style London. That's cute too. There's some hats. There's some hats to stitch. In New York. There's just some fashion things. Just some different things you can stitch, like with purses and stuff like that. Here's girly gifts. Bunch of purses and shoes. And Ladies Who Lunch. I thought this was really cute. Ladies Who Lunch. With the poodle skirt. That is just really cute. Alright, so those are some of the magazines that I got recently. These are all going in my collection. I may or may not dig them out throughout the year in 2020. But anyway, so that being said, I will get into the Facebook groups and such that I have been in over the last couple of years that have stitching events going on in 2020. My list is long, and hopefully this won't be too terrible of a long video. I'm planning on not editing it, so it's going to kind of go up the way it comes out. But I have a lot of stuff. First off, though, before I get any further, I kind of want to say thank you to Carla Being Crafty on YouTube, who shouted me out in one of her recent videos in the last week. She was doing kind of a wrap-up of some of the YouTubers that she watches, and she happened to mention me, and I was very thankful for that. So thank you to Carla Being Crafty for mentioning my channel on your YouTube video this past week, and I look forward to more of your stuff. Hopefully you'll keep watching me, and if you watch both of us, I hope that you find something you can get out of both of our channels, because she's really nice and she's helped me. I'm going to be using one of her tutorial videos to dye my own fabric sometime in the next few weeks. Just to kind of play around with doing that, I'm going to use her like pickle jar kind of method that she has. So look her up if you haven't already. It's Carla Being Crafty on YouTube, and she does mostly cross stitch, but she also does some other crafts, and she kind of talks a bit about her family and just things going on with her life, and it's a lot of fun. I happened to meet her when I was out in California in June, July, and August this year, helping my mom with the passing of my stepdad. And she was really nice, so it was really good. And she also has purple hair, so we both kind of have purple hair, so that's kind of nice. All right, so without further ado, I am going to get into my list of Facebook groups and some of my plans for 2020. So I've been kind of going through my planner. I use a passion planner. You can find it at passionplanner.com. This is my 2020 passion planner, and I've got January's layout ready to go, including down here. You will see I have a list of some of the Facebook groups and some of the different Stitchalongs that start January 1st. So my first week in the planner actually starts tomorrow. I have a Monday start planner, so my first day in here is December 29th. No, December 30th, tomorrow. So you can see here on the 1st, I have a list here. You might not be able to read it, but I have a list here of some of the Stitchalongs that happen. Like for Semi-Sane Stitchers, Donna Gelsinger, they're doing a Donna Gelsinger Stitchalong starting at midnight. I am participating in that for Semi-Sane Stitchers. There's a Facebook group called the 12 Days of Heaven and Earth Designs. They're doing the 12 Days of HAED, Heaven and Earth Designs, which is, they originally had started it as a way to do 12 new starts, starting from December 26th and going to 12th night on January 6th. They are on day 5 today. I was going to participate in it and use only one Heaven and Earth design. I was going to work on my Jassa Kirka 4 Seasons, but I have yet to stitch it because I've been working on a couple other things and kind of trying to finalize some of my 2020 plans. So this is this week. Coming up in that I have designated the silver line here is New Year's Eve. And then this is just the weekend. So I have quite a bit planned, and some other stuff going on this week. But I will get into that. So for New Year's Eve, I have 2 things planned. The first thing planned that I have is who is doing that? Semi-Sane Stitchers. Is that Semi-Sane Stitchers? Let me look in my notes. Semi-Sane. Sorry, guys, to look around. Semi-Sane Stitchers. Fairy tale. Just Let me double check something really quick. What is this? Sorry, you guys. I'm going to actually pause and I'll be right back. So hi everybody, sorry about that. I had to pause and double check. So I am doing, this is for the group Semi-Sane Stitchers. So these are my 2 starts for New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. For Semi-Sane Stitchers, on January 1st, starting at midnight on New Year's Eve, which is technically January 1st, they're doing Once Upon a Fairy Tale. So this is a new start. We're going to start a brand new project January 1st that fits the theme of fairy tale. This would be projects that have fairy tale themes in them. So my fairy tale themed piece is going to be Heaven and Earth Designs, The Princess and the Pea by Jasmine Beckett Griffith. The Princess and the Pea. I've had this in my stash, in my PDF stash for quite a long time. I'm a huge Jasmine Beckett Griffith fan. I have quite a few of her patterns. I have a diamond painting of hers waiting in the wings. The square diamond painting that's underneath the reindeer that you can see the white opaque paper for, that is the blank canvas for the Faces of Fairy diamond painting that I'm going to do using the pattern. Whoops, it's not that one. Yeah. It's using the pattern from Heaven and Earth Designs, and I'm going to be that's not what I want either. I'm going to be using the pattern and kind of doing the diamond painting much like the cross stitch pattern. I have all the drills for it, but I have stitched this one. She is in my WIP, or in my finish pile. I haven't fully finished her yet, but she is in my finish pile. So I'm going to turn her into a diamond painting, hopefully this year. And that's going to be one of my things to start soon. So she is in my WIP pile. But anyway, so for the Semi-Sane Stitchers, January 1st, Once Upon a Fairy Tale, I am doing The Princess and the Pea by Jasmine Beckett Griffith. I went out yesterday, Saturday, or Friday. Went out Saturday, Friday. I went out Friday and got the fabric to do her. The stitch count on her is 250 by 761. 250 by 761. I ended up with a fat quarter of 36 count Edinburgh linen in the color flax. So it's almost like a natural linen. I didn't want white because white, has a tendency to kind of show through. But this is a piece of 36 count Edinburgh flax. And it's long. You can see it's quite a long piece. She's going to take up a good chunk of it. But it's 36 count. I am going to be serging the edges tonight and starting to grid it, so I'm ready to go on Tuesday night, because I will be starting this with everybody else in the group Tuesday night. I'm also going to have to iron it to get some of the wrinkles out of it. But this is my fabric for my Princess and the Pea start for January 1st. One other thing in my stash that I've had for a while, well, I didn't have this one for a while. They announced in mid-December for January for, I have to look in here in my planner. I'm looking in my planner. On January 31st, for virtual stitchers, there is a Donna Gale Singer Sal Stitchalong starting for the year, and they're starting it on after midnight on New Year's Eve. I didn't have a Donna Gale Singer Sal. Until I went out and purchased one specifically for this Sal. I didn't have a Donna Gelsinger pattern. This is also a Heaven and Earth Designs pattern. This is what it looks like. This is the mini Enchanted Christmas reindeer. I had a piece of roughly 28 to 30 count fabric in my stash already that would work for this. I'm going to be doing this on kind of a white. What I may end up doing is I may end up just kind of hand dyeing it or tea dyeing it to make it not so starkly white. I don't know yet. Haven't decided. I have 2 days to figure it out. But I'll be doing this on the white piece. I've actually started gridding this already. It was gridded once before. My fabric was gridded once before. You can see here I am using silky holographic thread to grid, and these are 10 by 10 blocks. Got more than a page done, so more than a page of gridding done, and it goes down to about down here. So it also goes over to, it takes up, this will take up a good majority of this piece of fabric, you can see. But I'm using silky holographic thread in purple. This is Silky Hollow Shimmer by Silky, and this is 250 yards, number 1456050, and it's a silky, it's hollow shimmer, but it's just kind of a thin metallic thread. Your needles shouldn't be able to pierce it, so you can actually grid with it. So on this fabric, I had used a water-soluble pen originally to grid on the fabric, and this fabric was sitting in my stash for a long time with the grid lines on it in the pen, and the pen has actually stained the fabric. You're not going to be able to tell looking at the fabric now, but the pen has stained the fabric. Under certain light you can kind of see the stains are fading, yeah. So I'm just going to use this for the full coverage fabric because I'll be covering up most of the stains anyway with the stitching. So that's that. So yeah, I'm still in the process of gridding this. Once I finish up the last bit of this long piece of thread here, you can see it shimmers. This long piece of thread here that I have hanging off of my thing, I will be starting the gridding for the Princess and the Pea. So my 2 New Year starts coming up on Tuesday night, or Wednesday during the day, is the Heaven and Earth Designs, the mini Enchanted Christmas Reindeer by Donna Gelsinger. For the virtual stitchers, and then for semi-sane stitchers, I am doing the Princess and the Pea by Jasmine Beckett Griffith. The Princess and the Pea. So those are my New Year starts. New Year's Day starts for 2020. All right, so those are 2 definite things I'm starting on the first of the year. The Donna Gelsinger, I think, is kind of just throughout the year. The fairy tale one with the Princess and the Pea is only for the month of January. They do, as I go through all the groups and all the different stitchalongs, I will let you know. But anyway, those are my 2 solid plans for 2020 so far. The first day of 2020. Bear with me just a minute. I'm going to pause and recollect, and then I will continue. See you in a bit. Alright, so hi again. I just kind of wanted to print off. One of the other things I'm going to be participating in this year for the first time is WIPGO. It is basically where you create a bingo card for your WIPs for the year. So here is my 2020 WIPGO bingo card. There is a Facebook group, WIPGO 2020. And basically, once a month, they will randomly draw 2 numbers, 1 through 25, and you look on your bingo card, and that's what you stitch for that month. So here is what mine's going to look like for this year. So I have like a Teresa Wensler Fantasy Triptych, Jessica Yurka, Four Seasons, Tiny Modernist, Secret Slay Society, Thomas Kincaid Stonehearth Hutch. Pick a 2020 new start previously started and add 750 more stitches. Spin on a Decisions Roulette app and add 750 stitches to that project. Allison Spokes Hunter's Moon, Frosted Pumpkin, Welcome to Pumpkinville. Pick a current WIP that is not listed on the WIPGO board and add 750 stitches to it. Fireside Original Seahorses, Tiny Modernist Words to Live By. Work on any project, WIP, or new start using silks, overdyed, or sulky threads. Mermaid of the South Seas, Jewel of the Orient. Finish as many WIPs that have at least 250 stitches left as possible. Needles Dance. Jasmine Beckett Griffith, Porthole of Fantasy 2. Double WIP Dip. Pick any WIPGO square already completed and do it again. Amid Amish Life, MLI Santa of the Forest, Dimensions Samurai. Pick a 2020 new start previously started and add 750 more stitches or finish it. I have that twice on my WIPGO board. Mill Hill, any kit, fully finish if under 500 stitches. And Give Me a Break. Since I also diamond paint, I put a little diamond painting square on here to give myself a break from stitching challenges. Complete a large section on a diamond painting currently in progress. So here is my 2020 WIPGO board. You'll be seeing more of this probably in future videos. So that is what my 2020 WIPGO board looks like. So I will be doing the 2 January 1st starts for Donna Gelsinger's Stitchalong and the Once Upon a Fairy Tale for Semi-Sane Stitchers for January. I will also be doing WIPGO. One of the other groups that I participate in is the 24 Hours of Cross Stitch. So every month they publish an acrostic and a calendar to keep track of your stitches for the month. To do 24 hours, and also they publish goofy holidays for the month, so you can match up some of your WIPs or projects that you want to work on to those days of the month. So this is just a generic copy. This is just kind of my draft copy. The 24 Hours of Cross Stitch Facebook group, the January acrostic, is up and ready to go. It is ready, set, XS exclamation point or exclamation mark. So it's ready, set, XS exclamation point. And I already have some of my things listed on here that I kind of want to work on. So R is Sleigh Ride, E is Earth Dancer. For Earth Dancer, I just have to do the Whisper. I have to do the Dream Catcher and the Suede Fringe. The Suede Fringe scares me to death. But anyway, I'm going to work on that. A is Amid Amish Life. D is the Donna Gelsinger Heaven and Earth Design Enchanted Christmas Reindeer, because I'm already going to be working on it anyway. Y is Jessica Yurka, Four Seasons. S is Secret Slay Society. The second E, I don't have anything down for yet. I don't know what I'm going to do for that. The T is Teresa Wensler Fantasy Triptych. The X is Enchanted Christmas Reindeer by Donna Gelsinger. The second S, the second S is Santa of the Forest, and the exclamation point is the Joy to the World Bell Pull, and I'd like to finish it. So there's a couple of different things, like the Sleigh Ride for Dimensions is a little teeny petite Dimensions kit. I'd like to do 120 stitches on it. Earth Dancer, I want to work on the fringe and the Dream Catcher. Amid Amish Life, I want to do 480 stitches. The Donna Gelsinger Enchanted Christmas Reindeer, I'd like to put in 4 hours. I'm probably going to change that to 480 stitches. We'll see. I'm doing the Donna Gelsinger Heaven and Earth Design and the Princess and the P1 over 110 stitch, probably one thread over 110 stitch. depending on how it looks on that 30 count fabric for the Enchanted reindeer. Teresa Winsler Fantasy Triptych, I'd like to put in 480 stitches. Enchanted Christmas Reindeer, I'd like to put in 4 hours. So between the Donna Gelsinger, I have her down for the D and the X. So for total for that piece, I'm going to work on it 8 hours. Santa of the Forest, I want to stitch the hood of the Santa, or 480 stitches. And the Joy to the World Bell Pull, I'm going to finish it. Once again, I don't have anything, it's not set in stone, it's only written in pencil, but I don't have the second E filled out yet. So this is my January acrostic. Once I get it filled out and finalized, I will share with you in another video. So the 24 Hours of Cross Stitch, they also publish the monthly calendar, and they break it in by 24 minutes, so you can, track your time for stitching your projects either by minutes or stitches. And then they also publish the goofy, lesser known holidays for the month, so you can try and pick some of your WIPs that go with those holidays. Like for instance, the 3rd is the Festival of Sleep Day. The 5th is National Bird Day. The 6th is Cuddle Up Day. The 19th is National Popcorn Day. The 21st is Squirrel Appreciation Day. 23rd is National Handwriting Day. 26th is National Green Juice Day. And 29 is National Puzzle Day. So you can do, you can match up some of your projects with some of the goofy holidays for the month. So I am hopefully working on the January acrostics for the 24 Hours of Cross Stitch. So that is so I have the Donna Gelsinger Sal that starts January 1st and goes in throughout the year. Then we have the Semi-Sane Stitcher, that's in Virtual Stitchers. Semi-Sane Stitchers, there is the Once Upon a Fairy Tale Sal, which starts January 1st. It's for the month of January. I'm doing Heaven and Earth Designs, Jasmine Beckett Griffith, Princess and the Pea. I'm doing the 24 Hours of Cross Stitch January acrostic. And I am also planning on participating in WIPGO. And last but not least, I had joined the School of Magical Stitches and Literature last year. I'm not a super huge Harry Potter fan, but that group was started by a bunch of Harry Potter fans to kind of do challenges based on the Harry Potter books, reading challenges and stitching challenges. So every week they would come out with homework that you would have to do, and it's just basic stitching challenges that you could participate in or not, and they had supreme challenges and extra credit reading and stitching challenges and all kinds of stuff. So they're doing the same thing for 2020, only the theme for 2020 is Disney. So I have been sorted into the Boardwalk group. Yep. I've been sorted into the Boardwalk group for the School of Magical Stitches and Literature. So it's Disney themed, and the books that we're reading this year, there's 2 different kind of books. The first set of books that we're reading are Ridley Pearson Kingdom Keepers. The first book we're reading in January is Disney After Dark. So I got my book ready to go, and we are trying. Our challenge is trying to basically build up the parks. So one of the first challenges that we're doing is each of us have to stitch a minimum of 125 stitches on a project that we choose to help build the ticket booth and the transportation for our parks. I was sorted into the Boardwalk Resort, so this will be our chance to get transportation from the Boardwalk Resort to the actual park, one of the parks. So it's kind of a team effort. We're all going to stitch our part, and then we will, at the end of the month or at the end of the challenge, we can identify our luck at getting that. I think they're doing weekly challenges as well. We shall see. I know the reading challenges are going to be kind of interesting. This is the first time I'm kind of actively going to participate. So we have the Donna Gelsinger cell, we have the Princess and the Pea cell, we have WIPGO, we have the 24 Hours of Cross Stitch acrostics, and now we have the School of Magical Stitches. So those are my big 5 things so far. So after January, the Princess and the Pea one will go away. So then I'll be down to 4. But this should give me plenty of stuff to do. But as I said, there are many Facebook groups with lots of stuff going on that I'm actually, some of them I kind of want to participate in. So what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to list all the Facebook groups. I'm going to put a link to all the Facebook groups that I mentioned here for you in my description box below, so you can actually go out there and kind of do these yourselves. But I'm just kind of give you a general overview now of the groups that I've kind of been following, sort of participating in over the last couple of years. So we will start, these are my 2020 groups that I am involved in that are running Stitchalongs of some sorts. Challenges, Stitchalongs, whatever you want to call it. I've already mentioned a few of them. The first one I have written down is the 24 Hours of Cross Stitch. They do the acrostics, the calendar, and holidays. One of the ladies in the group came up with a 24 Hours of Cross Stitch planner. You can actually find that on Etsy. I will actually link that below for you as well. I've been really toying with getting that because that is the only way that you can get all 12 months of the acrostics and everything without being in the Facebook group, but you get them all at once. The only stipulation is you can't let everybody know what they are ahead of time. Otherwise, you can go to the 24 Hours of Cross Stitch group, and once a month they will post the next month's acrostic. But you have to wait for them to post it until you can share your stuff with anybody from your planner. If you buy the planner is only $12 and it's on our Etsy shop, but I will be sure to link that below. The first 24 Hours of Cross Stitch weekend is in January. It's a marathon. That's how the group got started. A group of people decided that they wanted to get together to virtually stitch with each other, and they wanted to do it 24 hours straight. So they picked a Friday night and they all stayed up for 24 hours until sometime on Saturday, and you marked your progress, you tracked your progress in the Facebook group, you posted, a lot of them did like Facebook Lives, or they went to not Zoom, but they went into like Google meetings or whatever, and they kind of got together and they stayed up and stitched for 24 hours straight. And there was team no sleep, where they all stayed up for the entire 24 hours straight and stitched. There was team sleep, where they decided to go to sleep for a little while. There were some people that decided to do 24 hours over the course of the full weekend. And it just kind of developed. So now the 24 Hours of Cross Stitch weekend marathons they start on Friday. They give it kind of a generic starting time. They start on Friday and they go until Sunday, and you can stitch for 24 hours. The goal is to stitch 24 hours straight, or not 24 hours straight, but for 24 hours over the course of that weekend. The first weekend is January 24th through the 26th of 2020. The next weekend is April 24th to the 26th. The next one after that is July 24th to the 26th, and then November 8th through November 11th. So there's 4 of them, once a quarter, and they'll have different events throughout the Facebook group. They're also doing the year-long ABC challenge. So you pick any project and finish it. Okay. The next group that I'm involved in is the International Hermit and Stitch Weekend. It is IHSW. I will write that down. IHSW. International Hermit and Stitch Weekend. It's a Facebook group. Their International and Hermit Stitch Weekend, their first weekend of the month of the year for 2020, is January 17th to 19th. Okay, and again, I will put these Facebook groups down below so you can, kind of peruse them. So the next group is the 12 Days of Heaven and Earth Design Facebook group, hashtag 12 Days of HAED group. So they started on December 26th, and it runs through January 6th. It originally started, it's called the 12 Days of Heaven and Earth Designs, following the 12 Days of Christmas, starting on the 26th of December and going to June 6th, which is 12th night. Initially, it was to be brand new Heaven and Earth Design starts, but now it's kind of whatever you want to do. You can do it every other day, a new start. You can do and still do a new start every day. You can do one project for the entire 12 days. You can kind of, work on your WIPS. It's just whatever you do, but it has to be Heaven and Earth Designs. So that is on. Sorry about that. I think I just recorded me looking for this for you, but this is another Heaven and Earth Designs that I actually have in progress. This is Jacek Yurka's 4 Seasons. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. This is the 4 Seasons chart. So I was going to work on that for the 12 Days of Heaven and Earth Design, started on the 26th. Never got around to it, and I'm probably not going to because of all the other stuff going on and all the planning and everything that I kind of need to do. Yeah. So, all right. So that is the 12 Days of Heaven and Earth Designs. So those of you that are watching my videos may know about the virtual Stitchers group. It's a group of people that get online and virtually stitch with each other. It's kind of like, they have whoever happens to be on will get in the Zoom room, and whoever else wants to get on and stitch will get on and stitch, and they'll just kind of sit and stitch along with each other virtually wherever they happen to be across the world. It's kind of a neat little Facebook group, but as I mentioned, there is a Donna Gelsinger Stitch Along happening on midnight on January 1st, or technically 12/31. I am doing the Enchanted Reindeer. Okay, starting in January, they also have a Hawk Run Hollow sell. Any Hawk Run Hollow pattern that you want to do. So virtual stitchers also, because 2020 is a leap year, every 29th of the month, so January 29th, February 29th, March 29th, etc., they are doing Leap into a New Start. So every 29th of the month, they have you start a new start with everybody else. They also have Stitchers Unite, which is a live stream on Zoom or on YouTube. They pick kind of a designer or a theme, and they get online one night a month, and they do Stitchers Unite, where everybody commiserates and stitches and bitches about the whatever designer, whatever pattern they all decide to work on. That is on the 20th of every month, Stitchers Unite. Then they have Hey Hey HAED for Hey Hey Heaven and Earth Designs, Hey Hey HAED, either the first Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, and it rotates every month. You can use new starts, progress on your WIP, or another full coverage project that you want to work on, just for full coverage projects. But like the first 3, January 4th, February 2nd, and March 6th are the first 3. It's called Hey Hey HAED. The next Facebook group is Full Coverage Fanatics. Some of you may actually already know about that group, but here are the challenges that are going on in the Full Coverage Fanatics. There is the 20 in 20 challenge. So for 2020, you are to stitch 20,000 stitches on one project, which actually equals to about 1,667 stitches a month. If you're in any other challenges where you're using a full coverage piece, you can probably easily come up with 1,600, 1,700 stitches a month. Then they have the National Park Challenge. There's the National Parks Challenge is in 5 tiers. Each of the tiers has 5 parks. So since there's 5 tiers with 5 parks, you're going to visit 25 parks for 2020. Okay. So your goal is to stitch 4,000 stitches, full stitches per park. Okay, so if you stitch all 25, all 5 tiers, you'll be doing 100,000 stitches for 2020. Now that's full stitches. So if your piece is half stitches, like for my Heaven and Earth designs, a lot of times I use 10 stitch, which is half stitch. I'd have to do 8,000. So that would actually be 200,000 half stitches for the year. They're also doing a Stitch Around the World challenge. They'll list prompts for you to follow for each country that you visit. There's no minimums. You just kind of have to fit your project in with the prompts for the country that you visit. January's country is Australia, and the prompts are listed in the events page for the Facebook group. You'll find a lot of these events in the events tab on each of the Facebook group pages. So that's where you can go to get all these. They're also doing a tour to designers each month for Full Coverage Fanatics. I didn't happen to write down what the January one for Full Coverage Fanatics is. All right, so there is also Stitchtalk HAED challenges. Stitchtalk Heaven and Earth Design challenges. It is another Facebook group that was a spin-off from Heaven and Earth Designs Facebook group that was started by Portia Parcher, and she is known for her 100 Days of HAED challenges, where you stitch on a Heaven and Earth Design project consecutively for 100 days straight. So she does 90-day challenges, she does 100-day challenges. So Stitchtalk HAED, the 2020 challenges include Tour de France challenge. It's from June 27th to 7/19. It follows the Tour de France. You basically stitch one stitch for each leg of the tour, for the mileage for each leg of the tour, from June 27th to July 19th. She's doing 200 Days of HAED again. The first one goes January 1st to April 10th, and the second one goes from August 1st to November 8th. So you do 30 stitches per day, or 1 page or 1 color complete. Okay? So 100 Days of Heaven and Earth Designs again, January 1st to April 10th and August 1st to November 8th. Then there is also Stitch the Appalachian Trail for a total of 2,194 stitches. I may actually consider participating in that, because that won't take me very long to track. I might do the Tour de France this year from Stitchtalk HAED. She is also doing the Nepal Everest Base Camp. This I might actually consider doing too, because it's not a stitch count, it's a number of hours stitching per month. And I think the most is 8 hours per month to stitch for the Nepal Everest Base Camp. So each month has a set number of stitchy hours, and it must be on the same project. Now you can use 12 different projects, but each month's hours have to be on the same project. So you can't pick one project for half an hour and another project for 2 hours and count it in the same month. They're also doing a Stitch Around the World party. So at the end of the Stitch Around the World challenge, you will have completed 49,952 total stitches. There's 22 legs in the challenge, each with required number of stitches. Each leg must be on the same project. So you're going from place to place to place to place. This is the Stitch Around the World party. So each leg itself has to be on the same project, but you can pick 22 different projects if you want to work on them, because there's 22 legs. They're also doing the road trip around the USA. I might actually do this. So you stitch 1 stitch per mile in each leg. Each state project, because each state might have two or three legs. Each state must be one project, or you can work on one project the entire trip. But basically, it's like the Stitch Around the World, where each mile is a stitch, and you're going from state to state to state to state, and it's called the Road Trip Around the USA. I might actually compete in that one as well. I haven't really decided yet. So Stitchtalk HAED challenges. I might do the Stitch, the Appalachian Trail, Nepal, Everest Base Camp, and the Road Trip Around the USA. Haven't 100% decided. You can kind of start them any time you want in that Facebook group. All right, so moving on to Semi-Sane Stitchers. This is another Facebook group. So as I told you before, I'm doing the January 1st Once Upon a Fairy Tale with Princess and the Pea. So I am doing that one for sure. They also have a Choose My WIP, where you, before the new month starts, you post a couple of pictures of 2 or 3 WIPs that you want to be up for grabs, and an admin will choose for you before the month starts, and then you work on that. Then you work on that WIP for that month. So that is Choose My WIP. They have a challenge called This or That. It's themed choices. This or that means you have 2 different things to pick from, this or that, and you match your WIPs up to those themes. So for January, it's pleasure or pain. So do you want to stitch pleasure, or do you want to stitch pain? So you match your WIPs up to that and you stitch. They're also doing an Around the World challenge. They pick a monthly country with stitching challenges based on the country. So it could be theme prompts. It'll be themed prompts like, you know, what comes from the country. Are they known for coffee? What colors are they known for? What's their flag? You know, just what's their customs? You know, that kind of thing. So you would stitch that, basically the themes. They'll post them for each of the countries that you stitch for. So they also do a challenge, resolutions for 2020. You can, for this one, you only check in every 2 months. It'll either be finishes, starts, no spending for 2020, etc. You just check in and tell people how you're doing on your resolutions. They also have a pick it and stick to it. It's a finishing cell where you pick a project and stitch it until it's done. Then they're doing the alphabet soup. The letter changes every 2 weeks. So the letter has to match either the name of the designer or the name of the pattern. And you have 2 weeks to stitch on it. So the first one starts January 1st with the letter A, then January 15th with the letter B, and it goes, etc. through the rest of the year. They go through the entire alphabet that way, so you can start that. That's called alphabet soup. This is for Semi-Sane Stitchers. Then there is also the Serial Stitcher game. And it's kind of like the game Werewolf, if you've ever played that. You're assigned roles, and you kind of participate and, you know, get votes and stitch and watch along, and your whole goal is to not get axed during the thing. There'll be a couple of people that are assigned as policemen, a couple of people that are assigned as killers, you know, and then the roles will change. But it's the Serial Stitcher game. Then there's also, in February, the snowball fight. So basically, every 300 stitches you stitch gets you a snowball that you can fling at somebody else in the challenge. And then if you're hit with a snowball, you have to stitch 100 extra stitches to recuperate from getting hit by a snowball. But your whole goal, I think, is to be the last man standing at the end of the game. But yeah, every 300 stitches you stitch gets you a snowball that you can, you know, target somebody else with in the game. All right, so that was Semi-Sane Stitchers. Next, we're moving on to the Stitch Maynia Facebook group. That's Stitch Maynia, Maynia. So they're also doing a tour to designers sell throughout the year, much like full coverage Fanatics, but their tour de designers. The January designer for them is Joan Elliott. They also do full coverage on the 5th. So on the 5th of every month, you work on a full coverage piece. On the 15th of every month, you do work that WIP. So you pull out a WIP of yours and you work on it the 15th of every month. The year of starts. So on every 20th of the month, because it's year 2020, Every 20th a month, you start a new start. So, let's see. Who is it that has the 29th? Virtual Stitchers does leap into a new start on the 29th of every month. So you start a new start on the 29th of every month in Virtual Stitchers. Stitch Mania, you do a new start on every 20th of the month. Okay, then they have the Color a Day Van Gogh. It's on the 30th of each month, and the Color a Day is based on Van Gogh paintings. So they have them listed throughout the year, so you can jump into that. They also have monthly themed Stitchalongs and various holiday Stitchalongs. So if you're looking for a Stitchalong on, say, Valentine's Day or St. Patrick's Day or Hanukkah or Christmas or Labor Day or Memorial Day or, you know, whatever kind of day, they have various sales going on throughout the year for those days that you can join in. And that is Stitch Mania. Okay, so then we have Stitchers Coven. It's another Facebook group that I'm kind of into, and they it's more of a dark group. So like, you know, if you're not really into, you know, darker subjects like, you know, vampires and ghosts and, you know, stuff like that, it might not be the group for you. But I kind of like all that stuff. So here's some of their sales going on for 2020. That Other Thing Tuesdays. Every Tuesday, you kind of talk about other things you do besides stitching. So their full coverage, instead of being on the 5th of every month, they do full coverage Fridays. Every Friday of the year, full coverage Friday. Then they do Show Us Mondays. Every Monday, show everybody something you do. Then they do a Stitchalonga-palooza every 15th of the month. So every 15th of the month, Stitchalonga-palooza. Then, so they're also doing a year-long Sick in the HAED. It's like sick in the head, but Sick in the HAED. Any full coverage big ass project, BAP, big ass project. They're doing a year-long Sick in the HAED Stitch-along. Then they're doing Immortal Beloved with a love theme from January 1st to the end of February. So January and February, it's Immortal Beloved Stitch-along, and it's a love theme. All right, now we have Friday Off the Grid with Caroline from Evertotes. A lot of you that watch a lot of FlossTube know the Friday Off the Grid, the Off the Grid Needle Arts YouTube channel. And she has a Facebook group called Friday Off the Grid. Everybody loves that and shares along. So there's a Friday podcast, Stitch With Me, on YouTube that Caroline with Evertotes hosts. And, you know, people post on the Facebook group on Fridays too, showing what they're stitching. It's kind of like the Friday Stitchin' Stitchalong virtual stitching kind of party on Friday night. In 2019, she was doing Sunday high teas, where every last Sunday of the month she would get on and celebrate something that she had going on in her life by stitching a new project or stitching a project she's been wanting to really work on a lot. So she would tell us what it is and then stitch on it throughout the month. So that was her Sunday high tea. Well, in 2020, her Sunday high teas are no longer going to be Sunday high teas. She is just going to do high tea. And she decided to change it because although it was fun every Sunday or every fourth Sunday of the month picking a new project, she decided that it would be a little easier to kind of do it once a quarter. So once a quarter, she's doing a Sunday high tea. So it's on the 1st of every month in January, April, July, and October. So she will be doing 4 high teas for Friday Off the Grid in 2020. January, April, July, and October. Okay, so that was Friday Off the Grid. The next group is the School of Magical Stitches and Literature. That is the new Disney themed. It used to be Harry Potter themed. So the first book that we're reading in January is Ridley Pearson, Kingdom Keepers, Book 1. Disney After Dark. I am on the boardwalk team. We're going to be doing monthly challenges. There's weekly homework. There's extra credit reading. There's extra credit stitching. There's supreme stitching challenges. Blah, 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 blah. The February book is the Villains series by Valentino. I forget her first name, but the first book is Fairest of All. And basically these books for the Villain series are the Disney stories of all the Disney stories that you're familiar with, told through the eyes of the villains. So the first one is Fairest of All. So it's going to be Snow White told through the villain. Okay, so that was School of Magical Stitches and Literature. A lot of you may know about that already. The next group, this is kind of hosted by Jessie Marie Does Stuff, or Jessie Sites, I think is her last name, but Jessie Marie Does Stuff on YouTube. She does WIPGO every year. So WIPGO is like bingo for your WIPs. And I showed you my WIPGO board, so I am participating in this. Here's my WIPGO board. She will do a drawing every month. She will pick 2 numbers, 1 through 25, and then you kind of mark those off. If you complete this challenge, you can, kind of fill in your bingo card, and you get bingo, and you can get prizes and stuff throughout the way. My square 13 is my free space. I have it as free choice. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with that if 13 is chosen, but yeah, so we shall see. So I am doing WIPGO. The next little group is Little House and Country Cottage Stitching Group. They started a new thing every Sunday, starting today, 12/29. Every Sunday they're doing sampler Sundays. So there's Little House and Country Cottage Stitching Group. They have a list of samplers and stuff in their post about what you can jump in and start. The one that I was hoping to start by Little House Needleworks, One More Stitch, isn't really on their list. This is the one I was actually hoping to start, but it's not on their list. Luckily, I had a piece of natural linen that was already in my stash that I could pick for this. So I was hoping to include this in the Little House and Country Cottage Stitching Group Sampler Sundays Stitchalongs, but it's not on their list. So I may still start it anyway and just kind of work on it that way. Then you have the group Enchanted Stitching Challenges. I am sorted into Team Epcot for the Enchanted Stitching Challenges. I was in Team Boardwalk for the School of Magical Stitches this year. So their challenges is they're doing Stitch Around the Parks. So essentially you walk into the park, you start in the entrance of the park, and you work your way around the park by stitching that many stitches. There's approximately 30,000 stitches in each park. It goes from January to December. And the parks you have Epcot, Magic Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, and Animal Kingdom. And then there's the Fairy Godmother's Supreme Challenge. So there is a list of movies, and you can stitch through the movies, and you just mark off how many movies you watch on the list, and stitch and show your progress before and after, and you can join that. But Stitch Around the Parks, I may actually try one of them. I don't know yet. I mean, it seems kind of daunting. I've got so many other things going on, but it sounds kind of fun, Stitch Around the Parks. All right, so there's also the Cross Stitch Frogbusters Facebook group. They have a 2020 year-long kit sale, and it's new starts only. It's for Dimensions kits, Bucilla, and Janlin kits. So if you have any of those you want to start, you may want to consider joining the Cross Stitch Frogbusters. They're doing the 2020 year-long kit sale, and it's new starts only for Dimensions kits, Bucilla kits, and Janlin kits. And they have one going on right now called the Labor of Love Stitchalong. It started Labor Day 20 this past year and goes until Labor Day of 2020, but it's the Labor of Love Stitchalong. You can find out more information about them, about any of these Stitchalongs, by going to the events page in each Facebook group. Then we have the Stitchy Quest to Destroy the One Ring Facebook group. Obviously, you know what that's for. They have a walk to Mordor walking challenge, which gets you up and off your feet. Basically, you walk however many miles, for however many miles it is for each leg of the walk to Mordor. Then they have knit and crochet to Mordor, which you make that many number of stitches and go back home. And then they also do the Stitchy Quest Fantasy Map Stitchalong, where you could work on any kind of map project. It started on December 23rd and it goes until you kind of finish it. But it's the Stitchy Quest Fantasy Map. They were doing the stitching to Mordor and back again kind of thing, like they did for the crochet. They don't have it posted. I'm sure you could probably do something like that with them, but they did at one point in time have the Stitchy Quest to destroy the One Ring, so you could stitch on your way to Mordor and back again by stitching that many number of stitches. All right, so the next group is Stitchonomy Stitchalongs group. They are doing free sales for 2020. It's the 2020 year of sales. They're all designed by Alyssa, who owns Stitchonomy. All their sales are free. Basically, you sign up for the ones that sound interesting to you, and she sends you the patterns, usually by email, I believe, is how she sends them to you. But you just kind of follow along and do them. They're all free in that group. Let's see, there's two other groups that I'm kind of recently following. There's Love for Cross Stitch, LUV, the number 4 cross stitch. There's no events going on there, but Faye Kuhn, she publishes charts and patterns and stuff in her Facebook group, so you might want to check that out. And then there's Santa's Little Stitchers Cross Stitch Ornaments stitching group, for people that like to stitch ornaments and kind of want some camaraderie and friendship around there. There's no events listed for that either. So, just to recap, we have, I'm going to go in the order I went, 24 hours of cross stitch, International Hermit and Stitch Weekend, IHSW, 12 days of Heaven and Earth Designs, 12 days of HAED, so that's 3. Virtual Stitchers, Full Coverage Fanatics, okay, that's 5. Stitchtalk HAED Challenges, Stitchtalk Heaven and Earth Design Challenges, okay. Sane Stitchers. Sorry if I'm offending anybody by this. I don't mean to. Just counting off. Sane Stitchers. Stitch Maynia. Okay. Stitchers Coven. Friday Off the Grid. Okay, that's 10. Friday Off the Grid. School of Magical Stitches and Literature. WIPGO. Little House Country Cottage Stitching Group. Enchanted Stitching Challenges. Cross Stitch Frogbusters. Stitchy Quest to Destroy the One Ring. Stitchonomy Stitchalong. And the last two that don't have events, Love for Cross Stitch, Santa's Little Stitchers Cross Stitch Ornaments. 19 Facebook groups. I did my best to try and list all the challenges for you guys. So if there's any challenges for 2020 that you guys need to get any of your cross stitch things done, I would encourage you to check out any of these groups that you haven't already. There's a lot of them. There's probably a lot more that I don't even know about, but I gave you at least 19 groups that you can check out for 2020. Well, this video is like an hour. It's going to be, quite a bit long. So, sorry about that. Not sorry, but I just kind of wanted to give you the information of all the Stitchalongs. So hopefully you can connect with some other people and have fun. Anyway, that's all I have for you. Just keep on keeping on, because that's all we can do. I got a lot going on for 2020. It's a new year, you guys. Coming up in 2 days. 2.5 days. So yeah, it's a new year. Get some of that stuff done. Make all your plans. I've got lots. I have a lot for January. You can't quite see it yet. Here's some of my stitchy stuff for February. Yeah, and I even have stuff in for 2020 all the way to December. I have stuff penciled in all the way to December. I don't know if I showed you this, one of the things I'm also doing for 2020. So here is my tracker for my stitching projects for 2020 that I'm going to be working on. Here is my WIP tracker. These are the stitching projects. These are some of the stuff I buy. This is stuff I buy. If it came out of a magazine, where I bought it. This is stuff I buy, bring into my stash. This is stuff I work on throughout the year. And it also kind of tells me when I work on it. And so I can kind of keep a little bit of a tracker on how long I work on it. I also have one for my diamond paintings in my planner. A couple of the other things I'm hoping to do for 2020. So here's my 10 by 10 board game challenge for 2020. I hope to play 10 board games 10 times in 2020. I didn't make my 2019 challenge of that. Still have to fill in my board games. Haven't chosen them yet, but there is my 10 by 10 board game challenge. There's enough room for 20. So then I also have my bookshelf ready for my reading for 2020. This is my reading bookshelf. It's empty. So with the reading challenges from School of Magical Stitches, hopefully I'll have a couple of books in here. I have a couple other books that I want to read, like some of the Outlander books. I need to get through that series again, so I can put them in here. These are going to be for my full books. I'm going to probably have a list over here of books I want to read, or maybe even books I pick up. You know, what I may do is just fill in spines, just draw in spines for the books I buy, and not color them in, color them in when I finish. So yeah, that's my bookcase for this year. I have plans for a mood tracker. One of the other things I'm going to put back in my planner is like if our local roller derby league makes it to playoffs this year, I'll probably have their playoff bracket in here. I like to follow college softball, so I'll probably have the Women's College World Softball Championship brackets and stuff tracked in here too. But anyway, this is my planner. I've got lots of stuff in here to do. My WIPGO board, I'm going to print out a nice color version of this and stick it in here. I'm also going to be keeping track of the acrostics for the 24 hours of cross stitch in here, and any other challenges that I decide to do where I have to track stitches. I will be putting in here. So those are my plans. Those are different challenges and stuff you can get to in 2020. If I'm sorry if I enabled you to get involved in too much stitchy stuff, but I'm sorry. I just kind of want company. Anyway, so that being said, I will actually get ready and go, because yeah, this is a long video today, and I'm sorry for that, but hopefully you got some information out of there, and you found hopefully you find some Facebook groups that you can join and just have fun with your stitching in 2020 and kind of make it fun. I'm hoping to get a few more things done. I'll probably be doing a start wish list video in the next week or two, and probably some WIP video, like a WIP parade video for you guys, because I haven't done that in a while, so you can kind of see where I'm at and what projects I have in my pile. But anyway, keep on keeping on, because, you know, it's the end of the year and New Year starts in 2 or 3 days, and just keep plugging along. Take it one day at a time. I think that's probably going to be my motto. One day, one stitch at a time. One diamond painting drill at a time. Because that's all we can do. And just take time to smell the roses and take it one stitch at a time. One stitch at a time is all we can do, you guys. So I think that's going to be my new motto for 2020, one stitch at a time. All right, so take care. We'll see you soon. I don't know when my next video will go up. Probably a couple days, maybe a little week. You know, I might actually show you a little bit of progress on the 2 new WIPs for January 1st that I'm going to start from Heaven and Earth Designs. We'll see. Anyway, take care. We'll talk to you soon. Bye now. Hi, so it's me again. I kind of wanted to show you my sister-in-law. For Christmas, I had a pretty good Christmas this year. I got quite a few things, including the first book for the School of Magical Stitches Stitchalong and a little Pusheen cross-stitch kit. My sister-in-law has a pretty good sense of humor, and you know, all over Facebook there's been these memes all year of people getting those cookie tins, like those butter cookie tins. And, you know, the question is it cookies? Is it a cookie tin, or is it a sewing kit? Is it a cookie tin, or is it a sewing kit? So my sister-in-law, was really funny. She, her and my niece, they put together, they got a butter cookie Christmas tin, or a butter cookie tin for me for Christmas. And, she put Schrodinger's, sewing kit sticker, or post-it note on the top of it, wrapped it up and gave it to me for Christmas. So I didn't know what I was getting. Turns out so you have to look at the pictures that I attached to see what it really is. But it was a cute gift. I kind of appreciated that, and I'm sure you guys all will too. So anyway, just a little snippet of me showing you, or a couple pictures of me showing you my my sewing kit Christmas surprise. So hope you enjoy. Thanks.